Hey everybody out there in the internet world, and welcome to another Dark Avengers comic book review. We are reviewing comics, or I'm reviewing comics this week for the week of February 29th, leap year, actually leap day, the actual leap day. So these comics were released on leap day, the final day and week of February 2012. Fixed up the background a bit, no signed comic. I've gotten into the Marvel Legends line so far. I've got my variant Iron Man and the hard to find on the internet at least Venom X. So I'm very happy with Venom X. I'm waiting. I have other figures on pre-order, but hopefully maybe I'll pass by a store one day, see them. I'll take them off my pre-order list and just buy them right in the store right there and then. But until that day comes, let's get into the comic books. Also guys, check out the Avenger trailer. Really awesome. Other news. Apparently there's going to be a Avengers vs. X-Men #1 coming out with Stan Lee's signature on it. And they're charging like $400 for it. Just letting you guys know in advance. So for those of you who are huge Stan Lee fans and like to buy those signed comics, $400, get that stuff put on the side. It's coming next month, I believe. Because it's on the list for Midtown. Stan Lee signs it. There's a bunch of people that are going to be signing the #1s, and they're all going to be pretty expensive. But Stan Lee's is the most expensive. Beside the point, also, this month, Avengers vs. X-Men #0. Looking forward to that, and we'll talk about that when we get into the Marvel books. But first, we have two independent companies. First off is Dynamite, and we're going into Voltron #3. This issue takes place mostly in the past. It explains the origin of, I can't pronounce this guy's name, Siegel, and how they created Voltron and how the world is being monitored by this alien force that's going to invade and destroy the planet. And Zarkon, you find out that the Zarkon from 2014 is the Zarkon in the present day Voltron, which is 2024, I believe. Or 2414. I think it was 2414. I gotta make sure now. I'm gonna show you guys artwork anyway, but I believe it is 2414. Also, advertisements for Voltron Year 1 is coming, so I'm probably gonna be checking out Voltron Year 1 as well. I have to say one thing. Notice something here? No barcode. Why? Because they put the barcode in the back. And I think that's the best thing in the world to do with comic books. They only do it for Voltron because in the next comic it's right in front. But I think putting the barcode in the back is actually a good idea. Cover the advertisement. Why cover a perfectly nice picture or a perfectly nice cover? Don't we have enough with the title ruining the, not ruining, but being in the way in the picture? It's better to have the barcodes at least in the back of the comics. And it is 2124. I was right. Artwork is pretty good. I want to show the Voltron 5, so give me a second to find it. So it's all about the creation of the, here we go, the Voltron 5, right here. You can just full scan of the page if you want. Alex Ross is still doing the cover. So it's in the past, they're creating the lions, the origin of the lions basically. It's a lot of talking, and in the present 2124 they're still chasing after the Voltron lions and Zarkon to get back Voltron. And I guess when they get back Voltron, that's when the whole origin story will be over and we'll get into actual Voltron stories. This is basically telling you guys, giving an origin story. And though I'm 50-50 on origin stories, it's pretty good, gotta admit that, but I honestly can't wait for the origin story to get out of the way, just so that we can enjoy the actual story, the main story of Voltron. But it's pretty good. Next up, the 1 in 10 cover. I don't know how I got this one. I could have sworn I ordered the other one, but anyway. Lord of the Jungle, #2. It's really good. In this issue, we get introduced to Jane and John Clayton, who were shanghaied yet again by pirates, which I feel like is a repeating theme. It's like, okay, you want to go to the island where Tarzan is? Well, just get shanghaied by, or have mutiny. Have them mutiny on your ship, and you will end up where Tarzan is. It's the same thing. Just like what happened to Tarzan's parents happens to Jane and John Clayton and Jane's father and some other woman that's with them, who really doesn't matter at all, and at least now, or somebody will comment she does, I'm sure, but in my opinion, she's just with them also. And Tarzan puts a warning, or you think it's Tarzan puts a warning on his treehouse when the people who had mutinied on the ship show up. They end up burying treasure on the beach, which Tarzan does kind of get him. He's watching, basically. He's watching everything that's going on. They try to, one of the mutiny people, I forget his name, but I know his name. I know what page where they say it, so I won't have to worry about it. It's definitely this page. Snipes. And the father goes missing, and Snipes tries to shoot John Clayton, and Tarzan interferes there from the trees and whatnot. Or you think it's Tarzan, and then the father goes missing. John Clayton goes into the forest to find him, and the others who mutinied on the ship leave them behind. Doesn't this sound familiar? So anyway, Clayton gets attacked, Tarzan helps him, then Jane gets attacked, Tarzan and Clayton run off. Weird thing is, John Clayton might be related to Tarzan because he's looking, I believe he said he's looking for his father. I believe it's his father. He says it to Tarzan. I've come in search, in search of my uncle, John Clayton, Lord of Greystoke. He disappeared 21 years ago. So I don't know if Tarzan is, retraction there. It's not John Clayton. It's William Cecil Clayton. This is his nephew. John Clayton is the one that went missing, but they make you believe, I believe it's John Clayton that is Tarzan's father, and they're related somehow. That's what I'm guessing. Because the Lord of Greystoke kind of got me wondering. So they might actually be related. We don't know yet. And it's to be continued after Jane gets in trouble. So yeah, really good. If you're a Tarzan fan, now I'm not into a lot of the older comic books, like from way back in the like 80s, 30s, 40s, 50s. This is good. It's a retelling of Tarzan. It's enjoyable, you know. Without saying Tarzan, it's Lord of the Jungle instead. I thought they would put Lord of the Apes because it is Tarzan, but maybe they did it already. Whatever. It's really good. Best comic from Dynamite this week, absolute. I would highly recommend you guys check this out. Tarzan's always been cool. I'm sorry. One of the comics from the olden times that I'll always like is Tarzan. So I would definitely say check it out. And now we're going to go into IDW. One quickie comic involving Infestation 2. It's Infestation 2 Team-Ups, one-shot. The funniest book in the entire Infestation 2 line. Hilarious. They actually make fun of Infestation. How they make fun of that it's a mini-series and that it's just going to keep going on. And yeah, really, oh, did I show artwork from this, Mike?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Let me just show really quick artwork. Sorry, guys. There we go. Splash page. Okay, that's artwork from there. In this book, which is the team-ups, we have this guy called Archibald. This is just a hilarious comic. That's Archibald. And he teams up with, I forget the dude's name, Bat Boy, who can't talk. He only shrieks, but everybody except humans understand him. It was just a hilarious comic, and the funniest thing was at the very end, right here where it says coming in 2003, Infestation 3. It was hilarious. And they're poking fun at the whole thing. Here, the last box, the last word box. Only way to stop crazy, meaningless events is to ignore them. Otherwise, big boringness never is going to end. So they're actually poking fun at Infestation 2 in this book. So anybody who's been complaining about Infestation 2, you'll like this book. For those of you who are completionists, like myself, you'll find this book a hilarious little breakaway from the actual series. Now the problem is next week is TMNT, or it's supposed to be the first part to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. However, I've made my order for next week, and once again, IDW does not have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles listed. Meaning next week, not next Wednesday's review, the Wednesday after that, in 2 reviews, they're going to double up again, G.I. Joe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not saying, you know, it's bad. But at the same time, I think the people that are working on Infestation 2 and IDW really should get on this, because you shouldn't double up books. I mean, they have the schedule right here in the back. And the schedule dictates that next is... I'm not a stickler either, by any means necessary. I'm just saying the next issue is supposed to be TMNT. Now, this is the second time that they've had a problem. The last time they had a problem was between Transformers #2 and Dungeons & Dragons #1. Dungeons & Dragons #1 came out the same week as Transformers #2, because there was a... I don't know why, but I guess there was a print error or whatnot. Hopefully, after the mix-up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and... both of them come out in 2 weeks. Hopefully they won't make too many more mistakes. There's only 6 comics left. There's the Turtles 2 parts, the G.I. Joe 2 parts, the one-shot with 30 Days of Night, and then the full round-out with Infestation #2. Okay. Next up for IDW, a book that just keeps getting better and better. Magic the Gathering #2 with its free card. Once you scan the book, I'll show the card. And here's the card. Okay, so you get a free card. The cards, I guess, are going to be part of the incentive to buy the comic books for a while. I believe in May, they've already talked about Magic the Gathering Spell, or something. I forgot the title, but I believe this series is going to end by May. They're going to do little minis with this character instead of an ongoing. That's what I believe. I could be wrong. That could be the title for the next story arc. So but it says #1, so I'm not too sure. But this series, I guess, is going to go till May, and then they're going to switch to a different title. But I don't care. It's really good. This issue involves vampires, and I'm still saying it's really good. What's his name? Drake? Oh, Dak. Dak shows up in the town where he's looking for Sif, and it turns out he shows up in the middle of, first of all, here's some nice artwork, in the middle of some vampires that are trying to feast on some people who actually wander in where they don't belong. Dak saves them. He goes to an inn, which is in a different town, and he learns more about the blade he has, which is called the Ancient Fang. He delves further into the magic. He learns about the spells of it finally, and he learns that also in this book that whoever controls the Ancient Fang controls the vampires. Learns more about his past. It turns out Sif was looking for him, and he's the reason why all the people in his town were killed. And there's a little moment here, and then you see Sif at the very end with the vampires. Apparently she still has control over them. I guess she's kind of a mage too, or a psychic or whatnot. But it's really good. It's, for the price it gives you what, it basically pays for itself. You're paying for a card and a comic. So it's not like you're just getting a comic. And you know most people that are going to be buying this comic are going to be Magic the Gathering fans. So you'll have a new card to put into your decks if you like it. And I'll be honest with you, this card isn't that bad. If I ever play Magic again, this and the other card are definitely going into the pile. Absolutely highly recommend you guys check this out. It's a really good story. It really has nothing to do with the card game as much as it has to do with an actual good substance story. Next up, and book of this week, and it is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle book, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Micro Series Donatello. It's #3. Yes, this is cover A. I stick with the regular cover art for these books. In this book, it's all about Donnie. The whole book, it's about Donnie's. We all know Donnie's the computer nerd, geek, whatever. So in the beginning of the book, he talks about how him and his brother have 5 different techniques. They work great together in the field, but at home everything's completely different. Everybody has their own thing. Nobody really is interested in the stuff Donnie does, except Leo, who tries, but yeah, it doesn't exactly work. It turns out there's a science fair that Donnie finds out about, and he's talking to these people on this forum for scientists, and he's actually he makes enemies with one of the people there, and so he goes to the science fair, and he meets this guy whose name is Mr. Lill, Leah, whatever. But it turns out there's trouble, and it involves Stockholm, and Donnie investigates, and he finds out that Mr. Leah is also the guy that he's been fighting on the computer with. So of course they end up. Stockholm wants to capture the turtles, and he hires Mr. Leah to do this. What's his first name? Harold. His name is Harold. His first name is Harold. I'll call him Harold. It's easier. And him and Donnie end up in a fight and stuff like that. They end up fighting, and he tries to capture Donnie. Then, of course, you know, in the end, the guy comes to his senses, and you find out all about his past. I'm not going to tell you guys about his past. You really got to just read it for yourselves. The artwork is really good, though. The artwork is really, really good. No Shredder in this. No Bebop and Rocksteady. It's all about Stockholm trying to get the turtles. And the next and final issue is going to be Leo. I am excited for Leo. Leo's one of my favorite Ninja Turtles, so of course I'm a little bit excited for that. So I don't know if it's going to end with Leo though, because it doesn't say to be concluded. It just says next issue is Leo. So maybe after Leonardo they'll do Splinter and possibly Stockholm. I don't know, but I think it's supposed to be just a 4-part mini. So I think Leo is what's going to conclude this micro series. So yeah, really good. Highly recommend checking it out. Okay, now we're going to go into the big two, starting with Venom number 13.4, the final point going into 14 next week. I cannot wait. I really cannot wait for this series to end. There was a point in this book where I actually was excited because the Spirit of Vengeance leaves Alejandra and it seeks out Johnny Blaze, and it's this close to rejoining with him, and then it gets captured, and they come back. They come out of hell, but they're dead. Damien gives in to hell, and he decides, okay, maybe hell should just take over, and Doctor Strange gets screwed, and it's just so many dumb. I'll show you the one thing that I really just was like, eh. At one point, the Red Hulk gets thrown into Venom, who is now completely venomized. Flash Thompson kind of lost his control, and they get thrown together, and the final page says it all. We am smash for vengeance. Venom, Composite Venom, Ghost Rider, and Red Hulk. X-23 is off somewhere else trying to save Johnny Blaze, who looks anything but good. So I'm hoping that at the end of all this, Johnny Blaze becomes the new Ghost Rider again, because Alejandra kind of betrays her friends yet again in this book. And this is the second to last part. I really can't stand her. I hope she loses the Ghost Rider curse. And it just goes back to Johnny Blaze. Also, oh, there we go. Advertisement for Avengers vs. X-Men number 0. Oh, not an advertisement, a preview. And oh man, what a preview. My favorite page, and I'm going to spoil this because I'm sure this has leaked onto the internet by now. That panel. Yes. Made the whole preview worth it. I'm actually going to get her Marvel Legends figure just for that. Just for that. And I'm not a big Hope fan. The preview's good. It's in every single Marvel comic that came out this week, so you can't miss it. If I catch it on... If I catch it on CBR or somewhere, I'll get the pictures together. I'll do a preview review for either CBR, CCC, or for my channel. Probably for my channel, because I've been promising you guys I'd come back to this channel and work for you guys again. So it'll probably be on this channel. But the preview is good. I can't wait for this to be over. I mean, I can't stand Alejandra anymore. I hope to God by the end of this series, Alejandra does not become Ghost Rider again, and Johnny Blaze gets the curse back. But then again, she deserves the curse, but at the same time, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. Just me, but I don't like her. New Avengers number 22. I'll wait for you to finish scanning. Okay. And Avengers 23. Why am I showing both of these at once? Because the stories are both attached to each other. In the Avengers book, Vision wakes up in the Avengers mansion and goes and chases after Norman Osborn. Right after that, the U.S. Army, or whoever these people are, show up at Avengers Mansion, which is what happened in the end of New Avengers 21. In New Avengers 22, the Army's there, and they want to take the New Avengers in for questioning. New Avengers fight back, and then Doctor Strange teleports them to his sanctuary, while over here, Hydra makes a bid for wanting to be the United States' line of defense, and they use Cap. They say, we have Captain America, and Cap's like, we don't give in to traitors. President's not hearing it, and basically they turns out the agents in Hydra turn out to be Hulk. They Hulk out and they attack the U.S. Army. So we don't know what happens there. I'm so happy. The woman that's been stealing all the DNA and the superhero secrets and whatnot, yeah, she gets hers in the end. Basically, Agent Hill breaks in, finally, and saves the Avengers. Oh, this is my favorite part. The Iron Man and Storm get free, and they're like, Doctor, we need to talk. Red Hulk wakes up. They get Spider Woman out, and yeah, basically, also Hawkeye comes back. The only person that's missing right now is Cap. And then at the end of this book, it's Norman Osborn saying, please resist arrest, but you're enemies of the state now, and you're wanted, so please fight back. So that's one book. Now you know why in this book it's also written by Brian Michael Bendis. In this book, Luke Cage leaves because Jessica leaves with the baby and Squirrel Girl. So Luke Cage leaves the book pretty early. They go into, what's her name? Shoot. Her name's in the beginning of the book anyway. Victoria Hand. The New Avengers find Victoria Hand, and they think she's working for Norman Osborn, so they're interrogating her. They're basically mind screwing her. Also, they show, see, these two books are happening at the same time, so whereas this is in the middle of this book, it's in the beginning of this book. So anyway, they want to know who Maria Hill really is working for, and it turns out she is working for Cap, but she's working undercover as a double agent against Norman Osborn. So New Avengers actually end up working with her, and then, spoiler here guys, somebody is an Avenger that we didn't know about and is actually working on the inside of the Dark Avengers. This is a spoiler. You may want to fast forward and not look at your video for the next 4 seconds. Scar officially is the traitor of the Dark Avengers. So apparently, when he hears that Captain America has been captured and Captain America knows about all that's going on, he was supposed to give the signal. Scar thinks that's the signal, and he actually starts fighting the Dark Avengers, to be continued in the next issue. So in Avengers, the Avengers are going to be going up against Norman Osborn. In New Avengers, it's probably going to follow Scar. We'll find out in about 2 weeks, because we all know that the Avengers and New Avengers book come out now like twice a month. So we'll find out, not next week, but the week after, what's going on in both these books. Once again, Dark Avenger series is old. It just happened not even a year ago. So once this is over, hopefully Norman Osborn will get knocked down a peg, go back to being Green Goblin, go back to the Spidey books, and never bother the Avengers again in the end. Speaking of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 680. J. Jonah Jameson's son, John Jameson, is up in space, and it's a Horizon Lab satellite. And something happens up in space. And Pete runs off, and the only people that have rockets that he's affiliated with and works with are the Fantastic Four. He goes to the FF, Fantastic Four, whatnot, because they call it the Fantastic Four and FF now. And he looks for help. It turns out everybody's gone except Johnny Storm. So Johnny actually, I love in this one scene where Johnny's like, I have a lot of TV to catch up on. And he's like, dude, I'll tell you the whole, he actually runs down everything. It was hilarious, that part. Martinez wins dancing. Cardinals beat the Rangers in Game 7. Packers beat the Steelers. And they're still at Herschel's farm. And he's like, this is why everybody hates you. So I love that part. There's also a part where J. Jonah Jameson's pissed off at Mr. Modell and Horizon. It says that Horizon's a menace. And no matter what happens, he'll never forget what Horizon did with his son. So Johnny Storm and Spidey go out to the satellite. Love this splash page, by the way. Really good artwork in this book. And it turns out it's a bunch of Octobots. And I'm not going to really say much else, but the only person that's not infected by Octobots is John Jameson. And spoiler alert, the Octobots actually took control of the entire Apogee's crew. Apogee's is the satellite, the entire satellite crew. And I won't spoil the last page, but I'm looking forward to the next issue, which is going to conclude Spidey in space. And I don't care what you say, Mike, it was worth it.
I read it.
He tries to use his webbings in zero gravity. Didn't happen.
That is going in my monthly review, by the way.
This is good. This was good. I don't care what anybody says. Spidey's been awesome ever since Dan Slott. God bless you, Dan Slott. I have a book signed by you. I'm going to get that thing CGC'd. He's so good. I swear he's great. Alright, let's go into DC and wrap it up really quick. Legion Secret Origin number 5. Superboy did not appear in this like they said he would. To be honest, there's one more part. I see no reason why I shouldn't get the last part. But I'm being honest with you guys, you don't need it. You don't need it. I don't need it. I don't know why I wasted my time buying it. I guess because it was the first mini to come out. It's just boring. It bored me. Mike tried to read it. When Joe was here, he tried to read it. I tried asking a bunch of people to read it, and everybody said the same thing. A lot of people actually said they'd rather read Legion Lost than Legion Secret Origin, and that says a lot. So, leaving that alone. Justice League number 6 concluded the first story arc 5 years in the past. Darkseid wants Superman and a few other things. There's a huge fight on Earth. Batman saves Superman. Superman comes back to Earth to fight Darkseid. Cyborg saves the day. I'm not going to say how. And basically, yeah. The one thing that's still pissing me off is at the very end, after they save the day and all, and they're at the podium accepting a speech. I don't think you guys need to see the artwork in this book. The cover is the same as the internal artwork, really. They actually, Green Lantern says right here, we're not friends either. We're not a team. Here, what's everybody think? We're a team? We're not a team. And we're not friends either. And then Batman says we need to let them think we're both. So basically, they're going to tolerate each other. So they're like, none of them like each other, I guess, really. But they're like, and then Green Lantern's like, I have other things to do. I protect an entire world. I have universes to save. I don't have time for this. Batman's like, well, when there's a major emergency, it might happen. And then Green Lantern's like, when is that ever going to happen? It's rare. And Batman's like, no, it's not. And then they ask for what their name is, and actually Flash makes up the stupidest name ever, the Super 7. I was like, really? Really? And there was a small pun to the Super Friends. One of the writer's little girls says, ooh, look, Dad, the Super Friends. Ha, ha, ha. And then they get the name Justice League at the end of the story. So, I don't know. 28, really? Really? Alright, so we'll go into part 2. We'll finish Justice League, and we have one more book. So, oh well. See you guys in the next part where we'll conclude everything. It's going to be a short next part, I'll tell you that much. Alright, see you guys there.